Hello and welcome to this third part of Karl Pearson correlation. Now in this part also, the method of Karl Pearson correlation is given in range. The variables are given in range, but the range is not the perfectly distributed, and so the frequencies are also not given in the perfect distribution. So in this question, first we need to convert range into perfect differences and accordingly frequencies also. Now only last range, which is 25 to 30, which is given in perfect shape, that is 5 range, and accordingly we need to find the frequencies also. So we assume the last range is correct, that is 3, 10, 19 and 8. So from 10 we will minus the correct range, which is 3, so the above range is 7, and from 10 to 10, which is 0 and 0, and so on. So the next second column, the last frequency, which is 10, is correct. From 16 we minus 10, so the next frequency is 6, and from 20 we minus 16, so next frequency is 4, and so on. And this is how the last frequency is 3 is correct, and the difference between 10 and 3 is 7. So this is what the frequencies and the range we have found. Let's move to the next slide and let's write the range in perfect way. That is 10 to 15, 15 to 20, that is a gap of 5, 5, and the x-axis, which is the gap of 100, which is 200 to 300, 300 to 400, 400 to 500, which is correct. By adding the frequencies, which is the total of vertical and horizontal, we can also make tally whether our frequencies are correct or not, and that is 100. So when you make total vertically, which is 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40, which is 100, and horizontally, which is 10 plus 20 plus 40, 20 and 10, that comes to 100. So our n is 100. That was our step 1. Now in next step we will find out the mid values of variable x, that is range x and range y. So 10 to 15, that is lower range plus higher range divided by 2, it will give you the mid values, which is 12.5, and then the gap of 5, 5, which is 12.5 adding 5 is 17.5, 22.5 and 27.5. And the y-axis, the range are in 100, so lower plus higher, which is 200 and 300, which is 250, and by adding 100 we get the mid values of x, which is 200, 250, 350 and so on. Next, step number 3 is we need to assume value of y, which is v, and value of x, which is u. So we assume 22.5 as v and 450 as x, and we can get the assumed value of u and v. This is called assumed value of u and v, which is 0, minus 1, minus 2, that is by minusing, deducting 22.5 from 12.5 and divided by 5. So the next step number 4 is, after getting this assumed value of v and u, we need to multiply the frequencies with u and v so that we can get fu and fv. So as we can see, the total is called frequency, and we will multiply with v so that we can get fv, and similarly total of x will multiply with u and we can get fu. This is 10 into 2 minus 20, 20 into minus 1 is minus 20, and so on. That is our fu and fv. So by this way, the total of frequency of x multiply with assumed value of u, and we can get the frequency of u, multiplication of frequency with assumed value of u. When you make total, it is 0, but not necessary every time it will be 0. Further, our job is to find out fv square, that is by multiplying fv into v and by multiplying fu into u, we get fv square and fv square respectively. So our fv square comes to 100 positive sign and fu square, which is 120 positive. Next, which is very crucial part, fuv, and we can also make tally. So in case if you have made some mistake, we can also find out, we can also correct the mistake during the calculation. So over here, this is multiplication of frequency into u and into v, that is respective frequencies. So let us say the first frequency is 0, we multiply with u, which is -2, and we multiply with v, which is again -2. So 0 multiply with anything becomes 0. The next frequency is also 0, so we multiply with u -2 and v -1, so again it will be 0. 7 will be multiplied with 0 and -2 will be again 0. Now 3 is multiplied with -2, which is -6, and 3 into 1, that is v is 1, which is -6. Let's go to second column. In second column, the frequency itself is 0, so anything we multiply with 0, it will be 0. And simultaneously we can make sum of this. So the first column is -6, so we have written -6 in fuv. In second column, -10 plus 4, which is -6. Now in third column, the assumed value of u is 0, so anything which you multiply with 0 becomes 0. So in all the frequency cases we can write 0, and the total in the third column is 0. Fourth column, which is 3 into -2, is -6, and which is into 1, -6 into 1 is again -6. 4 into -1, and into 1 is again -4. 5 into assumed value of v is 0, and into 1 is 0. And 8 into assumed value of u 1, and assumed value of v is 1, so 8 into 1 will be 8. 7 will be multiplied with -2 and into 2, so 7 into -4 is -28. 3 into 2 and into -1 is -6, and then both the frequencies are 0. Now not only that, if you made some error, if you want to rectify this, you can always make tally. Your horizontal total and your vertical total of fuv should be same. So this is how you can make tally in your during the calculation. Also, if you have made error, you can easily catch it out. Let's make total horizontally, which is 28 minus 6. So fuv is 34. The next one is -6 minus 4 is -10, and -10 plus 4 becomes -6. The third row is all 0, so we will make it 0. And in the fourth row, that is -10 minus 6 is -16, and -16 plus 8 is -8 over here. So by mistake we have written 8. It is intentionally so that we can make tally. If any of the row or column you by mistake you make error, your calculation can be corrected. So let's see the vertically. In vertically, that is in the column of 200 to 300, first column, the fuv is -6. From second column 300 to 400, your fuv is -10 plus 4 is -6. In the third column, everything is 0, so we are writing 0. Now in the fourth column, which is -6 minus 4, which is -10, and -10 plus 8 is -2. Now in the fourth column, which is -28 minus 6, which is -34, and what we have written is minus 18. So if we make correction in place of minus 18 and then we make total, that whatever the total of horizontal FUV, it should be the total of vertical FUV. So let's see, instead of minus 18, if we make, which is minus 34, so the final total of horizontal FUV becomes 34 minus and minus 2, which is minus 36, and minus 36 and minus 12, which is minus 48. So if you correct this, if it is minus 48 horizontally, let's make correction. Instead of minus 18, so I am writing it is minus 34, and that comes to minus 48. So vertically also it should be minus 48. That means minus 34 minus 6, and it should be minus 8, and which is actually minus 8. So all the errors can be easily identified in the box table, that is Karl Pearson pigeon box method. Now the formula is UV, so the R equals to N sigma UV minus sigma U sigma V divided by under root N sigma U square minus sigma U the whole square multiplied by second under root N sigma V square minus sigma V the whole square. Now let's put up values one by one. Our N was 100, sigma UV we just make corrected, which is minus 48, sigma U and sigma V is 0, divided by your N is 100, and the sigma U square what we have found was 120. So 100 into 120 minus 0 square, this is our first under root, and in the second under root N is 100, V sigma V square, which is 100 minus 0 square. So on the numerator side, which is minus 4800, because 48 into 100 is minus 4800, and minus multiplied by 0 will be 0, so it is minus 4800. The second under root is 120 into 100, which is 12,000, and on the second under root it is 10,000. By taking square root of 12,000, we'll get 12,000 under root, it comes to 109.54, and the root of 10,000 comes to 100. By dividing 109.54 and 100 with 4800, our R, that is Karl Pearson correlation, R is minus, which is 4800 divided by 109.54 and divided by 100, which is minus 0.438. So approximately we can say minus 0.44.